Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you know, it was just my birthday, and so this week on Semi-Serious, I want to tell you about 28 life lessons that I've learned in the last 28 years. So let's get started. Number 1, it's always worth it to push your own limits because they're often not as limiting as you might have thought that they were. In 2012, I was 21, about to be 22, and Brady and I decided that we were going to backpack Europe. And the first 2 weeks we were in Ireland. And as part of our trip, as part of backpacking Ireland, we decided we were going to hike across the Burren National Park to a teeny tiny little town. It was really more like a village. I honestly don't even know how we found it, but it was called Karud. And we were equipped with plenty of sandwich supplies and everything and plenty of water, so we were gonna be fine. Prior to this, I didn't have a lot of hiking experience, so I didn't really know what to expect. We ended up hiking for 10 hours. And for me, that was a lot. My legs were tired, my whole body was tired, my hips were tired from moving my legs around. It was just like, everything was exhausted. I was so completely exhausted. We were like, I don't know, 10 and a half hours in, and we see our hostel. We can see it. It's like just down the road. We were cresting over this hill and there it was. I broke down. I broke down and I was crying, and there was something about seeing the destination where for some reason in my mind I was like, I can't do it. I'm not gonna make it. I have to sit down right now and I have to cry and I have to, like, this is where I'm gonna live now. To make a very long story sort of shorter, I ended up, of course, getting up and I did walk the rest of the way. But it was one of those moments where I realized that the limits that I put on myself, I put on myself. And there are a lot of aspects of that in my life where I have this idea of how far I can go, and I can't go any farther than that. That's my limit. That's as far as I can go. And time again, I have made the decision to push myself past those boundaries, past those limits, to see how far I really can go. And it has almost always been, well, it has always been really valuable for me, even in the times that it's been super challenging. Like in Karud, the end goal was the hostel, and once I got to the hostel, I could like relax, I could take my bag off, I could take my shoes off, we could eat food in the restaurant and stuff. And it's not always like that. The end goal isn't always that easily defined or that visible, and those times it's much more difficult for me to keep going and to keep pushing myself further and further past the limits that I myself have set. But it's always worth it to try to push yourself beyond what you think you're capable of doing, because most of the time, at least in my experience, you're capable of doing way more than you think you are. Number 2, experiences are more meaningful than things. Number 3, you are probably not drinking enough water. This is your reminder right here, right now. Go drink some water. Number 4, the customer is not always right, even when you are the customer. Number 5, no is a complete sentence. This is something that I think for a lot of people like me, who tend to be more like people pleasers, is very difficult to grasp and very difficult to put into practice, because we feel like being positive and saying yes to people is a really good thing and a really positive trait. And it is to an extent, but it's also important to know your boundaries and practice safe boundaries, and to be able to say no to something or someone when they're asking too much of you. Being able to say no, especially to people who you really care about, is something that is so important, and it's so affirming, and it's so liberating, and it's actually really freeing when you can actually do it. Number 6, spaces are really important. There are a lot of ways that I could unpack this, but there is one story in particular that I want to share with you guys, and that is of a friend of mine from Hanover. Her name is Olga, and she and her husband emigrated from Russia to Germany. One of the things that was really helpful that she said to me was that it's important when you move to a new country and you are in a new space and you're in a new culture and you're speaking a new language to have something that's familiar and tangible, something that's yours. She said for her, it was like a coffee cup. She had a special coffee cup that she always would drink her coffee or tea out of, and that was like her connection to a place of belonging. It belonged to her and she sort of belonged to it. But that always resonated with me, and I always felt that, I've felt that desire here for a long time since I've been in Germany. The desire to belong and the desire to create a space in which I feel completely safe and in which I feel completely at home. And I think I'm finally starting to do that with this new wonderful apartment that we live in. It's something that's that it's taken me a long time to learn, because I used to think that in order to be adaptable, I had to like whatever place I was in. But that's not true. That's not what being adaptable means. Being adaptable doesn't mean willing yourself into being someone you're not in a new place. It means bringing yourself into whatever new things and new places that you experience. Number 7, being busy and productive can be an amazing salve when you're experiencing pain or uncertainty or loneliness or loss or other negative emotions. But number 8, it's also important to recognize when you need to take a break, when you need to stop and breathe, when you need to meditate, or when you need to just break down. Number 9, even the people that love you most and who you love the most can and will hurt you, and you will hurt them. It's inevitable. We're all humans, we all make mistakes. Sometimes the best gift you can give to yourself or another person is just forgiveness. Number 10, but forgiveness doesn't always mean that the relationship is fixed or saved, or that things can go back to being the way that they were. Sometimes forgiveness means removing yourself from a toxic situation or from a toxic person so that you have the opportunity to heal, and also so that they have the opportunity and the space to deal with whatever is going on in their lives. Number 11, food does not fix everything. Neither does alcohol, but also neither does losing weight. Number 12, you can get by on far less than you think, and you need far less than you think you do. Number 13, you are not always as right or as kind or as patient as you think you are. Number 14, failure happens to everybody. Failure doesn't care about your self-perceptions or the grades that you got in school. Failure happens anyway. Number 15, one of the best ways to practice low-stakes failure and to learn to Number 15. One of the best ways to practice low-stakes failure and to teach yourself how to learn from your own mistakes is to learn a new language, because you will make mistakes every single time you open your mouth, or every time you write anything, or anytime you try to listen to someone speaking, anytime you read something. You're gonna make mistakes. But you have to keep going anyway. To be a language learner is to be imperfect. Number 16, Germans are not always on time. Number 17, you can't change the way that people treat you, but you can change how you think about them. Number 18, forgive your inconsistencies. Don't let that negative voice in your head use that to fuel narratives about how bad you are, how much you suck, or how much you're failing, or how worthless you are. You have time. Forgive yourself. There's always tomorrow. Number 19, always apologize for your mistakes. But don't apologize just because someone expects you to apologize. Build yourself and your beliefs enough to know what merits an apology from you. Number 20, night is a magical time. Introduce yourself to it. Let it change you. Number 21, don't plan a wedding across 3 countries and 2 continents. Just trust me on this one, do not do it. Number 22, there is almost always a cheaper alternative. Just take the time, do a little bit of research, You can save money on almost everything. Number 23, words have incredible power, so use them responsibly. Number 24, get out of your head, get out of your town, get out of your comfort zone every once in a while, because it's good for you. It's so good for you. It will change your perceptions about yourself, about the world, about other people that you inhabit the world with, and it's honestly one of the best things that I can recommend. Even if it's just a road trip, even if it's just a little trip, just for a little while. It doesn't have to be a huge life-changing change. You don't have to get up and move your whole life to someplace else. That's not what I'm saying. But getting out of your headspace and getting out of your comfort zone every once in a while can really do wonders for your health and your soul. Number 25. That model's full-time job is to look good. Their job is to eat right. Their job is to exercise. Their job is to treat their body and to do like body wraps and facials and hair treatments and everything. That's their job. And even then, most of the time, their pictures are still edited afterwards. Maybe not like photoshopped, but you know, they're edited. So just try not to compare so much. Number 26, it is okay to want things. It doesn't mean that you deserve them, it doesn't mean that you're gonna get them, but it's okay to want them. Your desires and your wants and your needs are valid. Number 27, cleaning is good for the soul. Cleaning, cooking, creating, these things are good soul food. They'll make you feel good. And finally, number 28, love first. Always lead by being the love that you wish to see in the world. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will be posting more videos on my channel, so if you like this video, be sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. What's something that you've learned in your time here on this earth? Leave a comment, let me know. Yeah, otherwise, thank you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video.